Okay. So I already filmed this video, but I filmed it in my excuse me, dodgy car driving camera setup. So I thought I'd film it again when I've got just a little spare 20 minutes. So yeah, what I was talking about was a technique that I find useful. Sorry, I'm a bit groggy. Lack of sleep. So the technique that I'm talking about is, I always talk about expanding your awareness, expanding your center point out the way. And then by doing that, we are almost containing something as well. We're expanding and contracting at the same time. It's an expansive yet containing quality that makes the universe seem a lot smaller, but at the same time a lot bigger, a lot more infinite. Another paradox, it doesn't make sense. So the technique is, we include into your sense of identity, let's say, it's maybe a decent way to describe it, include into your sense of identity anything that you can perceive as an object in your sphere of awareness. So, and simultaneously also merging these senses together, merging them together into the one sense. So for example, we can start by doing this with one of the sense perceptions. We can start with, let's say, the visual sense. Anything you can see, you're aware of. Since you're aware of it, it's also aware of you. Since we share our sphere of perception with the universe, anything you're aware of is the universe. Anything you're aware of is aware of itself, since there's no self to be aware of. So anything you can see as far out as you can look. And we're not saying this as in dialogue. As far out as you can look, you realize that this is me. This is the universe. This is me. Anything I can be aware of, let's say for now through the visual sense. The sky is me, the trees are me. These other people, these other entities are me. This is all me. And it might begin like an acknowledgement without the actual understanding. But with practice and over time, it begins, the insight starts to become apparent, the realization starts to become known. If that's a helpful way to describe it. So you're kind of breaking down those walls, those barriers, those divisions between the self and the outside world, because we are not projecting our visual sense and decoding the information from here, from this center point of the person. When we see it, not as in I'm projecting something out from my eyes and receiving something back, when it just is where it is, aware of itself, then it becomes you, in a sense. And by you, by I, by me, I don't mean the ego, the person. I mean that identity shift that I talked about in the previous video of the ultimate I, the I of awareness, of isness, of pure being, of consciousness. With the hearing, with the senses and the hearing, incorporate that into this exercise. You close the eyes, it's easier to begin with the eyes closed, and then listen out. Don't think of it as I'm this person here listening out the way. The only thing that exists right now is sound. Don't think of it so much as distance. Transcend the distance. But you can begin by listening for the furthest away, let's say, sound that you can hear. Not me hearing a sound, just the sound. And then observe, especially with eyes closed, mental images of what is the form that we are listening to, and then drop them. So I hear a bird in the tree in the distance chirping, I have an image instantly of a bird chirping. Even if I say that to you, you might get an image. You drop this image and there's just the sound. So these interpretations that we project out the way, from here, out there, we're trying to let go of them, we're trying to drop them. They don't become relevant anymore because at this point in time, they're not needed. When we are focusing on the breath, at least these sense perceptions, if this is the universe, just to use a bit of weird logic here, if this is the universe, I am the universe. If I just stopped breathing right now, these particular images, this particular form would cease to exist. Maybe it wouldn't be perceived anymore. So in order to perceive, for the universe to perceive itself, the universe has to breathe through this form. So when you breathe, it's the universe breathing. With the physical touch, with the physical feeling of the body. Look at something far away and think, is this sensation in my hands? What is the difference between this sensation in my hands and this image that I perceive right now to be far away? Is there distance? Is there difference? Is there division? Or is it all right here? And when I say right here, would I mean right here as in this person here and something out there? Or by right here, do I mean everywhere? So you're expanding out, you're including everything in, you're working to dissolve these barriers, these boundaries, these constructed separations that layer up on top of themselves to create the illusion of division between the subject and the object, this person and the world out there. And that's just a couple of approaches to this. You're looking to make it as holistic as possible. You're looking to break down any subject-object division, any categorization or separation or barrier or distinction that is possible, and merge it all into the one, let's say for now, perception or experience. So we're paying close attention. We're not applying these mind concepts to our experience. We're just looking into our experience with focus, direction and intention to see what we can uncover. See what thought forms and constructs are there. See if we can become aware of them. When we become aware of them as an object in our sphere of awareness, then we can dissolve it. And again, like I said, expand out and focus in. So it's a good one to practice, especially with when you close your eyes and you listen for the sounds that you hear and you watch for mental images, or because we learn that these are just learned structures. We learn that this is a car driving by in front of me, this is a bird chirping in the tree behind me 40 meters in the distance. If it's appearing in your sphere of awareness, then it is you. It is you. And you know what I mean by it's you. So a good practice in that is to move it out. Move it out to begin with, to move it out into your environment as far out as you can. Expand your sense, your self-with sense, out of the person. Out of this individual mind, body, ego, self, but also includes that at the same time. We're not trying to escape from the ego. We're just looking through the divisions that created the ego in the first place. And the ego can be there, it's fine. The sense of separation can be there, it's fine. It's just we're looking through it. We're seeing it as what it is through practice and our direct experience, investigation into the senses. Well, that'll do for now.